Yeah, greetings to everyone. The name Tumie, TUMAHOLE MOELETSANE, Samuel in a way. Most of the people nowadays bands bakele real Tumie, of which it's just a nickname from my media encountership and business and everything. Yeah, I grew up like in Clapston, and my father is from Mozambique, my mother is from this side. So I grew up in a way that most people usually wished they could live that life. But coming to other people's surprise, the life that people thought I was experiencing and as I was having fun about it, it wasn't like that. It wasn't according to their mind thoughts or everything. People thought that this guy comes from this kind of family, he's this, he's now, he's that, tomorrow is like this, tomorrow is like that. No, it wasn't like that. I grew up in very difficult circumstances because I remember when I was still young, I never got a chance to be with my parents as a whole. The only chance that I used to get, it was on Fridays when I had to see my parents, and you could believe me when I told you that it was just come and go. So I adopted. It got into my knowledge that this is the life that I'm gonna live, and it was like that for sure. Due to the fact that they wanted the best education, they didn't want me to go around sulking, they didn't want me to always grow up like a crybaby or something. So a lot of people always, like most of my friends, when I got to meet them during that time, in Australia, I would make them happy, my parents would make them happy, and at times I would take things from like high and kidisa more. So my parents, they were happy with everything, the way I grew up, the heart that I have. So hopefully that's the kind of heart I still have today in assisting people and everything. Yeah, I remember like when I grew up, I went to this white school where a lot of people always told themselves, Mwana Julius, Mwana Lucy, Opela, this nice life, Mwana Lucy is at this thing. The most shocking thing is that I was the only black sheep. I've been a black sheep like most of my life, and I got addicted to that life. You're gonna be the black sheep like your entire life, and I grew up. And truly speaking, when a person makes you a black sheep, they make you only strong. Like, I remember there was this one guy like at school, like primary. It's still in my head, it can't get off because when we do reunions, we do meet, he would just like come and slap me out of the blue and take the money from me. And when I tried to tell my parents, they were like, hey man, no, you're at school, you gotta stand up for yourself. Until I told myself, no, I'm not going to stand up for this. So when I talk about being a black sheep, those are the kind of things that I got to experience. So during that time, remember, I never had I never had a time to tell my parents that I want to go out of this school, I want to live this way, I want to live this way. I was under pressure. I was bound to live a lonely life, but I was grateful that my parents knew what they were doing with my life and how it would benefit my educational life. I wouldn't complain at all. Like, complaining would make me a crybaby. So that's when I got to know what do I have to stand up for. I have to stand up for my soul, to live, so that maybe during the next few years I would have children of my own who would depend on me, and then I would teach them the very same way to stand up for themselves. So it helped me a lot. I wouldn't say that mommy and daddy took me to schools whereby I had to be on my own or depend on my own. It helped me a lot. And now mommy decided to take me to a boarding school. I always heard that there was this high school, whereby it's only boys this side, it's only girls this side. You don't get to meet boys, you don't get to meet girls. So I was kind of like, Haibo, like, what's going on? How's life going to be? And I remember when we first got there, I used to have this friend, Morena, may his soul continue to rest in peace. We came from the same hood. He also came from an English school in Clarksville. So I also came from an English school in Clarksville during that time. So it was one of the schools that were competing. So how like you were taken as a class A. So this class A, expire, value. You in a school with Banabadi minister and all that, and I wash about an antatao, Kimalay Chaman in mining, I wash about Mau, Kimalay Chaman in mining up by Kimali Tavene, Hana Lito. It does not mean now Tavene or Toko Panalebatuba wiki every day. No, like you feel the pressure. My mother is not an official, my father is not an official. I always thought that we were like on tops, but there are people who are topper than you. So that's when I got to learn a few things that but we were so judgmental because we are only in grade 8, and what we are applying to these people, we are coming with these expensive cars, and they come with the most exclusive cars, not expensive. So that's when we learned differences. We had to know our place, but we knew that the rule of the school is that halika. So going on to that, we thought we were being treated, because Mariasdal High School is just a school whereby you don't succeed. First of all, a family. You make yourself a family. We would have this thing, mama. I used to have my own baby at school. I used to have my own mom at school. We build a bond whereby but you build a family. So that family will protect you no matter what. So we would be like, like you make one punishment, you make one mistake, you get a punishment. Nana holo ya batuba more than 400, but about 400 take your holo, and then la pila more. So I was used to this lifestyle. Some even left the school before their time. My life was never easy. I grew up in a place whereby you had to stand up for your own self. When I was in school, there was this other boarding parent, Mr. Muleleki. He was quite a frank man, He was quite a frank man. He was straightforward. He didn't take favors. He didn't take chances. With every learner that he would talk to or he would guide, he would go straight. He used to say, I call a spade a spade. I don't choose sides. I don't say me, this and that. When you are wrong, you are wrong. I remember that guy used to give us a very good hiding, and then like the punishment was kind of like, do me, tabo, mamang, this and that. You're going to clean the dining hall, and he would never argue with you. And those are one of the things that made me the kind of person that I am today, due to the fact that I grew up under strict rules, under strict people, under like straightforward people. So a lot of people keep on asking like, why you rata you are good, why you rata you like people. Well, coming to the fact is that all I know is that I'm like that. I'm frank in each and every aspect of life or every way. So when growing up in Mariasdal boarding school, it's a high school, that's when life got a bit tougher. Just like I talked about losing my parents and everything, on the radios and everything. Some people would say that no, Ahmad is making these things up. I don't make things up. I never do that. So the school taught me to become a man I am. I would call that my foundation, because I don't have a foundation and all that kind of stuff. But in a school never Tumie now, doing this and that. But now Mariasdal made me the person I am today. And you know, every learner that would go there, it would be kind of like difficult to I feel, because we were forced to study. A lot of people ask me, you always say that nilikena study singa kaka 4, I remember like a 7, maybe 9, like 4 to 6, 7 ke hora la phumula, and then keep ka 6 la phumula, and then ka 7 la study. You go and study, and everybody would be facing their own books during that time. Trust me, everybody would be facing their own books. That's when I got to start living the reality life that taught me how to be what I am today. I wouldn't say tertiary taught me a lot, but high school above all taught me a lot, because that's where I became the black sheep. That's where I learned to be on my own. That's where I learned like to struggle. Like, but they think I'm lying when I tell them that we used to live on 200 rands per month as your pocket money. And trust me, here, at times we would spend that 200 rands in a day. So you would call your parents like, Mama, we are tripping gas kalari, Mama, we are tripping like the names that you know, they are not there. Our parents don't know them. We would use those words. So I wouldn't say our parents were stupid, but our parents believed us enough. We are far from them, distance, time. So they would just send the money. It's either a poso or a bank account, and you are not allowed to have more than 250 or 200 rands. So we lived a tough life, and now you're going to buy what do we call this? A pie, ne? You're going to buy a pie, and that pie, tweezer. Yeah, I'm sorry to mention the names, but tweezer. And I would say also it does not make sense anymore. And after buying that, remember, also you're a top dog. So one of the things is like how nundima. And when I so you would share. We were taught how to share, we were taught how to love each other, we treated each other like family in that school. So because due to the fact that our families were far from us, we had to go with the flow. And I remember this one time when I was there, the first time when I went there, like it was like, Mama, this and stuff. Because how can I've never been to prison in my entire life. I've never been to court in my entire life. I've never been to any criminal activities. All this and that. And guess what? You get there, it's like that. Men like le dining hall like a touch, a dining hall like 10, tafuling 1. And there were those bullies. Bullies are everywhere. Before who's what la me a kgetho nka nama tse ka ile 10 a ba sia nama tse 5, you know, and we play la fela o tla loka, and you know where bullies go, and you know what happens with bullies. They don't succeed in life, but I'm not happy about that. So I don't really na khona go khalemela a re be sharp. So gona ba bang those things ne re di beya ka hlogo, more especially myself. I can't talk for other people. So the life that I lived there, many wouldn't survive in a day. And what happened to me is that that very same year when I was writing my final, my parents, my mother actually, she passed away, and that made me harder. It's true that I couldn't stand the pain, but as I was wishing to live with my mother, I was bound to go there and spend some time with my parents, you know, my father, my mother. That's when I got news that my mother just passed away. Remember the day they called me like, when was it the last time you spoke to your mother? Then I was like, yesterday. She recently gave me $200 for airtime. It was just a gift, and they told me that she passed away. I did break down, but internally, and I just told myself that I'm not going to do this. And I'm gonna make her proud, and I did make her proud. It shocked a lot of people. How on earth did I manage to pass when I was in so much hurt? But let's just let bygones be bygones. May her soul continue to rest in peace. And then I got to tertiary. When I got to tertiary, my father also passed away when I was still writing my first semester test. He passed away, and made me even stronger. For taba ya gore fela, like, they didn't pass away naturally. Their lives were taken. That made me the man I am today. Their lives were taken. I cannot say it's God's will. I can't say it's God's will. That's when I started seeing that I need to make these people happier than I made other people happy. And I worked, went to college, got involved with my lecture, one thing that people don't know about me. And my father has been like trying to talk to me about this lecture, that this person is gonna waste your time, this person is gonna waste your time. But I hopefully listened to my mother, to my father. I stopped dating this woman, I cannot say her name. And then after that, I knew what I was bound to do on earth. So I told myself I'm gonna study harder, harder. And then it happened. I studied and I got my qualifications, and even today I'm still studying. It's painful. I had to stand up for myself. I remember when I was still studying, I was doing like a volunteer job next to the college as a marketer, and they would just hand me the computer and I would do the job for free. I remember those people never paid me anything. I just wanted to keep my mind busy off that thing. That's how hard I struggled. And now, I went on and on, you know. I went on and on. I remember when there was this company called Prestige. Ibile prestige comes after. Prestige comes after. I went to this furniture shop to ask for a job because they asked me, okay, what am I studying? I told them I'm studying GOP and all that stuff. And then okay, I'm gonna give you a job. I thought it was gonna be a proper job. Remember guys, Abazali, I thought she was gonna give me a proper job, only to find, well, it was proper in a sense that I had no qualifications, I had no nothing. So he gave me the job. I thought about the girlfriend that I had. What was she gonna say when she saw me with that? So I don't want to get away next to my bed. Toilet take a pause, so you know, okabua leshano, but hona na kwe leshano le tlo ntshannete. Hola ya toilet. She took the bag and searched yo baby. Dipampiri tse ngata so ke baby ntse re penta ko mplong. And then it was, you know, women can see a man when he's kind of like lying. Women do see men when they are lying. And I was ashamed that I disappeared for almost like 2 days. Yeah, I didn't want her to see me. I didn't want her to do anything. But she told me, no man, just be fine. You know, it's part of life. At least you're earning something. Because during that time it was 1,400. Imagine that. Because the economy was still good during that time. So I got that. And this is what happened, you know. We lived, like we had plans with this girl, but things didn't work out. So I didn't take anything serious during that time. I never took anything serious during that time. So it didn't hurt me as much, but I happened to accept everything. So yeah, that's my high school and college life. It was like that.